you feel for the fans again who they do hurt a lot of reviews recently, and you wonder what the percentage of fans who thought, will I ever see a big championship in my lifetime? Well, they're seeing it tonight.
And I understand that, and again, we want to give credit to the San Antonio.
All the screaming's been done. All the yelling and the amazing emotions have flown out, as you could imagine. Like everybody else, that is a Knicks fan.
And what this special team has been able to accomplish, not only this season, but over the course of
this goes out to the ones who have been in the trenches for a long-ass time. I almost don't know how to react. I'm just going to be honest with you. They did it, man. Our Knicks did it. What an awesome team. From top to bottom. James Dolan laid out, kept cutting the checks, hired Leon Rose. Leon came in, and Leon absolutely fucking cooked. Guys I wasn't sure about, Cat, Bridges, dead wrong, and have never been happier to be wrong. I've been wrong on a lot of stuff. We all have. There where we do this for a living, right? Yeah, Zach Wilson's going to be great. This is so different. I just, this means everything. From staying up late when I was a kid to watch Bernard King on Channel 9 with Rory Sparrow and Trent Tucker and Bill Cartwright and Darryl Walker. And then after that, you draft Ewing and you got Pat Cummings, you got Cartwright for a minute. And Pat's playing the 4 for Hubie Brown. Then Pat gets hurt as a rookie, wins Rookie of the Year, misses, 25, 30 games, something like that. Then Patino comes in when we're bombing threes. Mark Jackson doing the finger wag. Trent Tucker hitting threes. Johnny Newman, Rod Strickland. This has been the journey of all fandom journeys. Shout out to the Knicks, man. God, do I love the motherfucking New York Knicks. I love you. I love you guys, man. Even when I questioned whether or not you guys could do it, it was always coming from a good place because I wanted it so badly. And we all wanted it. We all wanted this so badly. I can't possibly verbalize it. So I'm going to click off now because I've been celebrating for a while, as many of you have been. And
let me find this tutorial for you. Do you have a pipe wrench?
We've touched it. We have touched it. We have touched it. We are finally up there at the podium with the commissioner getting the NBA champion trophy. So all the haters out there, have fun. Knicks fans are the absolute best. Nobody deserves it more than we do. Let's freaking party. Let's go. In the news. Yo, man. Oh, my God. It has just been a whirlwind as our Knicks win the championship. The Knicks are champion. J-Rod, I was doing some math earlier today. Right? I'm like, come on. I gotta see if I could get in the neighborhood. And I'm not very good at math, as you guys know. So I went back, right? And obviously it's a rough estimate. I started my career in 1999, right? Yep. It's 28 years of shows, 27 and a half on the radio, all right? 5 shows a week, 20 shows a month, 240 shows a year. Over 28 years is a little more than 6,700 shows. And not once was I able to say the New York Knicks are champions. And I could finally say it, and we can finally live it, because the Lord knows we've been living this for a couple of days. This has been, when I'm doing that video, Jay, I'm like, all right, buddy, let's start clicking off soon, because you can start, with the way, obviously partying in the backyard, things get loose. I'm like, let's not go nuts here. What an absolutely amazing night. What an absolutely amazing run. To say that I'm thrilled and and satisfied in a way that I've never been as a sports fan. That's the crazy part about this, right? Like, and it's an interesting identity shift, and I'm not there yet because we're still, obviously in the celebratory stage of the championship. But when you're a fan of a team and you have never won, your entire identity is that of the chaser. You're doing the chasing. It's how you, whether you're on the air or you're just a fan or both. In my case, right? Everything that you think and everything that you construct in terms of content and thoughts and directions that you go and things that you plot out, like everything is built around finally getting over a hurdle that, I mean, let's face it. I mean, I don't know. I don't mean the 90s, but after that, like, seemed beyond insurmountable, where we're watching. I felt like I feel like this with the Jets too, but like the NBA changed so much, and you just see the evolution of the game. Like the international stars and, Steph Curry, the shooting prowess and the modern game. And we're stuck. We're just stuck in the mud, man. We are stuck in neutral. And the one thing about the NBA, which makes it really hard to be a fan when your team's horrible, like when your football team stinks, you could still gamble. I know you could gamble on the NBA, but you could gamble. You could watch Mahomes. You could watch Josh Allen. You could watch the Monday night games, Sunday night, the Niners, Seattle, all the big rivalry games. You could still enjoy the NFL to an extent. Yeah, I mean, obviously you want your team to do well, but I still get up to my neck in the football season. Like when the Knicks are bad, yeah, I watch the final. Sure, and of course I watch the Knicks, but it was a road that seemed so counter to the one that everybody else was on. And it was like equal parts jealousy, at times a heavy dose of apathy set in. Not that you checked out. Some of you did, and that's fine. I'm not going to be the arbiter of Knick fandom. That's one thing that's driven me nuts over the past couple of months. Like, oh, if you checked out, you're not allowed. What are you kidding me? Not allowed to enjoy this ride. Shut up. People try to judge who can enjoy what. Worry about yourself, right? I'll tell you, there was a moment where I really did think it was never going to happen. And I don't mean specific to this series, although I want to jot this down. I want to make sure I do tell you this. I did think something the other night where it was the first time something fully negative permeated my thought space. And I'm like, I'm actually worried about winning the series. That had happened it was a sequence. I'll tell you what it was in a minute. But I remember my son, who is now 11 years old. He was sitting on my lap. We were in an apartment where both of my kids were born, right? And my daughter's 18 months younger. She was sleeping. He should have been sleeping too, but Knicks were playing. So he was sitting on daddy's lap, right? And I was convinced that Kristaps Porzingis was going to be the one who was going to elevate us to where we wanted to go, where we are now. That he was going to be Brunson, only a different position. And KP goes up for a dunk, and he slams it down on Giannis, and as he lands, his knee explodes. And I remember that whole night before he got hurt, because if you recall, at that point, KP was playing great defense, really was starting to show some early signs, almost like Wemby, like I'll get to him later. What a punk. To a true potential, franchise player. And the whole game, I'm like, all right, buddy, this is going to be the one. Your childhood's going to be better than the last X amount of years that daddy's had to deal with. This is the savior. Like the basketball gods finally have smiled on us. Everybody booed him, not daddy, but everybody booed him when he was drafted. And, look at him now, 7'4", and this is going to be the one. And when you go to school and, you're wearing jerseys, you're going to be wearing this jersey. And someday this is the guy who's going to lead you to a championship. And you're not going to go through this drought that daddy has gone through. And then his knee explodes, and then hell occurs. And it's like, that's like, I really, at that point, guys, I thought, I don't know how they're going to break out of this hellhole. The recycling of coaches, Steve Mills' involvement, and then Phil Jackson coming, and all the things that we could talk, everybody despising Dolan. And by the way, what Dolan said, I loved what James Dolan said the other night when he grabbed the mic, because it was a moment of truly acknowledging what's happened. Like, we're not idiots. Like, he went from public enemy number one to now forever a revered great owner in New York sports history, period. I mean, you could debate that. That's my opinion. And when he said, I'm sorry, New York, it took so long. For a guy that has always come across as either arrogant or petulant or really disconnected from the fans, I thought that was such a great connecting moment that, I mean, the whole party was unbelievable. I mean, I think I went to sleep at like 4:30. Like, it was one of those nights, Jay. I could have sat in the yard and I could have had a drink in my hands until the sun came up.
Oh, easily.
I did. Thank God. Thank God. My son didn't have an early baseball game yesterday. He didn't play until like 3:30. Thank God. And I was still tired when I had to take him and navigate beach traffic, which is fine. I could have stayed there all night, and the game ends. And I got to tell you something that was really awesome. Now, if you told me this years ago, it probably would have saddened me, but the way it played out, it was actually awesome. So the previous game, when you came to Borelli's to hang out with me,
Yep.
son had, I think, 5 buddies on. I think there were 6 or 7 of them in the basement. Jen got like orange and blue balloons, or everybody's got the Knick gear on. An awesome 11-year-old watch party, something that they'll remember forever, right? And then, in my mind, I'm like, there's no way. Like, I'm thinking about like when he was born, when I put a Knick ball in his crib, the bassinet for the first time, the jersey, the KP stuff, the KP onesie. I said, if and when this team ever wins and my son's not next to me, like that will never happen. But the way it played out, one of the parents reciprocated. They had their own watch party. And I'm like, there's no way I'm not going to let my son go hang out with his buddies and somebody else. So I'm in the backyard with one of my friends in town, not even a big Knick fan, right? Because I need to hear stuff. I can't watch it with 35 people. I can't do it. Not last night.
No.
And not the other night. And anyway, my phone rings, and he's texting me during the game. And my phone rings with 1 minute to go in the game. And I hear the whole house scream, and he goes, Dad, I have to be on the phone with you when we win.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I was standing, you probably seen the video, I had the fire going, the big tap. I took Ewing's jersey off my man cave wall.
And you brought it out?
And brought it out. I did the same thing with Bernard King right by the TV. and I was on the phone for the last minute, and, cheering, yelling, anticipatory, like you name it, every emotional.
It was the craziest last minute of basketball ever, dude.
It was insane.
Emotions were nuts.
It was insane. And to go through that on the phone with him was awesome. Then as soon as he rolled in, he just came in the yard and gave me this massive hug. Then my wife came down, my daughter came down, and then I made a couple of calls, right? I told my buddies, do not call, I'll call you. Don't call me till I'll call you. So I made 3 calls. And then I'm watching Shaq, and I'm watching Kenny, and I'm watching Jalen Brunson's dad on the set. I mean, and then I go up, I take a shower, I stumble upstairs. It's like 3:30. I rewind, put on Sports Night, put on the news, put on Sports Center. I think it was about 4:41 where I'm like, I have to go to sleep. I have to, but I don't want it to. I don't want the night to end. I don't want to go to sleep. I don't want this to end. And it's one of those things too, where, and you saw that in the video, like I really didn't know how to react. Like inwardly, I was so thankful and beyond pumped. And during the game, I was screaming and yelling, like everybody does. And then like when you want something so bad, and there's not many things like this in life, because I don't know anybody that chases a job for 50 years. You know what I mean? Think about that.
No.
I don't know anybody that tries to save enough money for their dream home for 50 years. I don't like it. The length of the wait would change the entire, and I didn't know it would be this way. Like the entire viewing experience in a good way, not just in a more docile, reflective, just truly thankful that they're champ. Like it's real. Like I said, again in the video, it is just really hard to verbalize what this means. But the best part about this is that I don't really have to, even though I do, because that's what I do for a living. And I'll do more, but I don't have to, because you're thinking and you're feeling what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. And that's the best part of this. It is just, before we worry about 2 Pete's and this and that, this is one forever. Mike Breen on the final call. Not a single Knick that started was drafted by the Knicks. Very few first-round picks. It is, when I said Leon Rose absolutely cooked. that man cooked to a level that I don't think really that any other New York executive has ever cooked to. Can I quantify that? Sure, I could. I'm not going to do it now, but I think if you know, you know. Because even the Yankees, right? Like with Stick Michael, and he's the one who gets most of the credit, rightfully so, for building the Yankees dynasty. Buck Early, then Joe Torre, then all the championships. That's probably the closest one. But the roster construction, the tough decisions, just everything came up aces, man. It really just absolutely just one of the best nights of my life, period. One of the best nights of my life, Jay. Absolutely crazy.
I
God.
mean, I'm so happy. I'm happy to report I had like a similar, not me obviously, but a similar situation with my buddies. Like two of my friends, my roommate, he's 25, and my other buddy from childhood, he was 23, and we brought our TV up onto our building's roof.
Nice.
So we're watching with the New York City skyline.
Oh, here
right
we
there.
go.
It was sick. It was sick. And like after the game, all the fireworks are going off. But dude, like my buddies, whatever, they're 20 something years old. These guys are sobbing, calling their dads as soon as that final buzzer hits. And it's just, listen, obviously yesterday I was feeling conflicted, but I could not be happier I could not be happier for you, first and foremost. I could not be happier for Knicks fans, second of all. I mean, it was an incredible night. Like the people just jumping around, hugging, literally just random strangers embracing each other on the street. It was just great. That's that.
Think about that too. I was running through all the shows roughly. Now, that doesn't include vacation, so it's a rough estimate. But there's also many times that I was young where I did 2 shows in a day. So that probably counteracts the off days. But all those years and all those shows, 6,720 shows roughly, where I've never once been able to say that the Knicks are champions. I've only one other time been able to say any of my team is a champion back in 2009 with the New York Yankees for sure. It's a reward that really it still feels surreal. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like the parade will be the final, like boom, here we are. Everybody on floats and the guys smoking cigars and drinking and doing whatever they're doing, and the city just bowing down to a team that really, and that's one of the best parts. Like you'll take a championship any way that you could get it, but when you get a chance to get a championship, and it's very closely connected to teams and certainly characteristics that we really value. It makes it even more special. Like I always heard about, we all did. I mean, it's like a broken record. 69 and 73. How unselfish they were, and how connected they were, and how they played for the guy next to him. Well, I mean, think about this. Cat, had probably his worst playoff, in terms of point output on Saturday night. And a guy looked like he just dropped 37 points and 17 rebounds and won the NBA the Finals MVP. I mean, Deuce didn't do anything this series, and Deuce, looked like he was a starter playing 36 minutes a game, averaging 15 and a half points a night. Like the way they did this, God almighty. I just can't believe that they won the way that they did. Like there's 2 aspects to it. Number one, and this is based on earlier conversations for months, I can't believe that they won. And I don't mean how I felt the last month or so, but big picture, I can't believe that they won. And then you look at how they won. Plus 283. The best point differential in NBA playoff history. So we could sit here and talk about MJ's teams. I get it. Even Clyde's teams twice with Pearl. We could talk about Hakeem going back to back, and Bird and the Celtics and Magic and the Lakers and Steph Curry and the Warriors and the great dynastic Spurs teams with Tim Duncan and David Robinson, who have more class, by the way, in their little pinky toes than Wemby has in his entire 7'4" string bean punk body. That dude needs a check in terms of how you're supposed to act in life. Now, I don't need my big guy to be Mr. Congeniality. I don't mind a couple of elbows. If he's on your team, you're like, that's my guy, and he's trying to win, all right? And when you have somebody like that, you love it. When he's hurting your guys, you hate him. We all understand that dynamic, right? If Rodman's on your team, he's the best. When you're going against him, it's public enemy number one. It's just that's the way sports goes. But to slink off that court and not even shake the hands, he'll learn his lesson, but the damage has already been done. He will wind up being an all-time great player. He will wind up a multi-time champion. And if he stays healthy, his name's going to be all over the record book in a way like Wilt and like Kareem and like Michael Jordan and Karl Malone and guys like that, right? But, you don't always get a second chance on character. And when you are, sometimes you do, and I know he's young, so I'm going to grant him a little latitude here. But when you lack that character to that extent, so many times throughout this run, I've never seen a faster fall from grace by any athlete who was so obviously trying to be elevated by the entire network and by the entire league and fumble it and now look the way that you look and be really despised in the court of public opinion. Like, that is a special fall from grace. You've got to be really, really, I'm trying not to say the wrong thing here, man. Like I'm trying to actually navigate this somewhat, not even professionally, just responsibly. All right. But I mean, that guy, between the anthem with the folded arms, all right, it's America. You could do that. You can do that. I don't like it, but you could do that. And all the other stuff. I mean, this guy, I can't stand this guy. And I don't want to hear, I've heard not a lot. I've heard some people, like when he tried to take out OG's knee, if that truly was his mission. Well, he's awkward. He was off balance. I saw a 3-minute video this morning of everything that he's done, every questionable play during the entire playoff run. And there is not, I don't think I've ever seen a dirtier player in the history of the NBA. I'm serious. Now, anytime you have like a highlight stream together, it's always going to look a little bit worse. But there was something every single game that happened where you're like, man, there is intent there. Man, this dude is dirty. Wow, this guy is not like the other champions. And he's not a champion yet, but those that we measure the sport against and with for, the better part of, almost 100 years. I think it was 1946, about 100 years, 70, whatever it is. I don't know, 90. I'm not going to start doing math. It took me enough to figure out how many shows I've done. You know what I mean with the math. To do that and to fall that swiftly from grace takes a special effort in the wrong direction. Now, when they missed the flagrant again, and he would have been suspended for the next game. Now, there is none, as we know. But that, Jared, was the first time that I actually thought for a minute, I'm like, and I didn't even say it, but I said it in my mind. I said, circle this, because that's the first time I'm like, I feel like the basketball gods are concocting something that would be all-time hurt.
Really?
Would be next level, more so than the broken bat in 2001 with Mariano and the Diamondbacks, more so than the Ewing finger roll, more so than with Hakeem and Starks and John missing all those shots, more so than the Jets losing in 98 in Denver when they should have won that and gotten to the Super Bowl. I'm just talking about my personal hurt. More so than Rex's back-to-back AFC championship games on the doorstep of the Super Bowl, losing both times. Like more than anything, even more than... Certainly more than St. John's Duke, a couple of months ago when I was doing that to get to the Elite Eight, when Johnnies were up big, like that. And because I saw two things unfolding. I said, number one, they missed it and he's going to play the next game. Number two, I actually thought Shamet was hurt.
Oh, okay.
I thought, and I'm sitting there, I'm saying, all right, here we go. And I did think going in, I didn't really say it on Friday. I didn't feel great about it. I thought, even though I said Knicks in 5, and I was right, I did think the Knicks were going to come up short last game.
Really?
I did. I was worried about,
man,
because of Wemby. I was worried about the reps, the stretching things out. I was worried. I was worried.
That's fair.
And then the way the game, and plus, how many comebacks can you have without one coming a little short, right? Coming up a little short. So, as the game's going on, like the Knicks just did. It was just Brunson and nobody. I mean, their bench at one point was outscored 24-0, I think, or 26-0. So the bench was doing nothing. Cat wasn't doing much. OG was off. Like Brunson was keeping us around. And then he just went bonkers as he always does in the fourth quarter. He's the man. That's why he's Jalen Brunson. But before that happened, I'm like, I could see a game 6. I was starting to actually see game 6 at the Garden. Now all the pressure is on the Knicks, all of it, right?
Yeah.
Now, in my mind, I thought Shamet like tore his ACL or something. In my mind, I'm saying he's done.
Real? Damn.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, even though he didn't play great last game, I'm thinking a really important, huge, sniper off the bench that's been great for the Knicks is gone. And momentum is shifting. And that's the first time it crept in, not like in a defeatist kind of a way, not in like a loser kind of way, but we've been on such a run and such a high that even during the Hawks series, when they lost those 2 straight games, I did not once say on the air or inwardly during a game, like, they're not going to win this series, or it just never, and it wasn't even arrogance. It was evidence that they provided. They earned that,
Yeah.
It started creeping in, and thank God that got snuffed out fast, man. Thank God that got snuffed out.
I mean, I gotta say,
oh,
I did not doubt it for a freaking, not to be Mr. Toot my own horn here, dude. The entire time I'm saying to my boys, trust, they're winning this. Don't even worry about it. Don't even.
Yeah, but Jay, I believe you. I believe you, and I respect that. But think you're coming at it from a totally different place.
Completely different perspective.
Yeah,
I mean, my perspective is not based on faith. It's based on objective viewing.
Yes.
So there's a difference. Also,
correct.
Other hand, screw victim Wimpinyama. Someone drop a hood milk carton of eggs on that guy's head.
That's right.
Someone drop the egg factory. Literally wake this dude up every morning with a chicken to roost above his head and drop a freaking fried egg on his goddamn forehead.
Oh, wow.
I mean, this guy, I won't say what I'm going to say because you would have something against what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Future Embiid. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
But this guy's personality is so terrible.
Yeah.
It is so entitled. He is such an asshole. Like, I saw this Twitter video. Granted, the guy who posted the video also seemed like an asshole. So I'm not gonna. Either way, I don't know if there's a good guy either. He was staying at the Ritz-Carlton in New York.
I saw that video.
Yeah, and his son wished Wemby good luck, and they kicked him out of the hotel. Now, I don't know if it's true. This guy didn't seem like the kindest man in the universe.
I don't think he seemed like that much of a troublemaker.
He didn't seem like an asshole, but he seemed like the kind of guy who says, I did nothing, when in reality, it's a complete opposite story.
Yeah, maybe that's like, I mean, I can't imagine. I did see the video. I can't imagine somebody gets kicked out of a hotel for saying that. I mean, there's always 2 sides of the story. I get it. I understand. But it is now my mission. It is now my mission to root against him to the deepest level that I am able and capable of doing. Wishing him zero success, big picture, and not injury. Not saying that at all.
No.
Zero success. And not only, and I don't mean like benign success where he goes like 44 and whatever, and he's like the 6 seed or 5 seed, which is not going to happen. I want pain and mental duress to the highest degree for the rest of his career, meaning I want Game 7 buzzer beaters against him in the Western Conference Finals. I want more blown leads in the NBA Finals. I want him to gag and choke again at the free throw line when the entire world is watching. I want those little twig legs not knowing what to do when it's time to try to get to your spot, which he has no spot yet, which he still can't get to because he could probably bench 103 pounds. This is what I want for him the rest of his NBA. Honestly, he's a piece of shit. That I'll say. I'll say that.
Fair.
Because there's just too much stuff. I mean, first you mush Brunson in the head, strike one. Then you I believe that this was intentional because you could see where he looked down. Now you stick your big size 20 trillion sneaker under Jalen Brunson, I believe with the intent to hurt him. And then, all right, this one's a little bit more up for interpretation, but now you don't get the benefit of the doubt. I believe you were trying to inflict serious injury to OG Anunoby, not to mention the anthem, Not to mention the lame. I don't even know what he said. I'll see you all never. The hell does that like? Even the way he speaks and like everything about this. I'm serious. He has gone from wow, look at this unicorn. My God, this guy, what a gift to the basketball community. Wemby, did you see Wemby last night? To I want him to suffer the highest level of pain, not personal pain. I don't mean that at all. Personal basketball pain, right? Nothing beyond the parameters of the court. Not that I have to say that, but for those who don't know me, obviously I'm going to get real separation there. Never want to see him get hurt. I want to see him play 82 games a year and 20-something playoff games, whatever it is, and I want to see him slink off that court over and over and over like the little wimp that he is. And at the end of the day, those fingers that look like baseball bats will have the same amount of rings that I got outside of this one for being married. Actually, I've got more because I got more. I got a fantasy football ring. I got a St. John's ring. I got my Maris ring. So I got more than Wemby. I love ringless is what I want him. He is as unlikable a person, or at least a figure in the NBA. I can't come up with anybody else. And the quickness and the rate in which this happened, it has to be without precedent. Because everybody loved him because everybody's like, he's so rare and he's just so amazing that how could you not appreciate this gift from the basketball gods? Well, we don't. We resist it. We send it back. Take it back. Or better yet, keep playing and keep slinking off. Keep not shaking hands. Keep not comporting yourself like a pro. Okay? You ever see MJ do that? Patrick Ewing. And the other thing too, right? And they did this, and maybe I'm just taking this a little personally now because Wemby just bothered me so much. But when Patrick lost in 94, I'll never forget the image of him going through the little cutout in the stands to the locker room, right? Pat Riley's behind him. And just like, Pat gave his heart and soul, my God, exhausted, beyond disappointed. But it was quick. Here we are, like as soon as the Knicks are getting ready to celebrate, they got this guy walking through the tunnel. Fuck that guy. Let me see the Knicks. Let me see the Knicks. Wemby. All right, great. You lost. Next. Hey, if I'm in the truck, get Brunson. Let's get the Knicks. Get the Knicks. No, keep it on Wemby. I thought that was a real miss by the network, who otherwise did a phenomenal job. And then they get Mike Breen on the call. Just serendipitous, just phenomenal. All-time stuff. And then but did you see Joe Beningo's video?
Are you kidding me? I watched it in full.
You did. So did I. And you hear Terry laughing. Terry's the best. Joe's got a good voice, too. Joe can sing a little bit.
He really does. He can hit that Sinatra.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I didn't even do the sponsor. Let me get this in here. Yes, we are a championship show sponsor today, brought to you by my friends at Sullivan and Pepin. Of course, find Sullivan online at charlo1.com. That's charlo1.com. Remember the name Sullivan Pepin, and by Premio Sausage, the way sausage should be. Find them at premiofoods.com or in your local grocery store. So 29 years doing this. All right. The last, 4 or 5 in a very different, for me, unconventional when I launched, but now very comfortable and conventional outlet in terms of content. Right. I have never had the chance to do this in a way that I'm trying to do it now. And like, the crazy thing is that you have all these things that you want to say. And it's a challenge because like, I'm just going to be very honest with you. I feel like anything that I say doesn't do it justice. Like, it just doesn't. You saw that, and I ran through some of the things in that video at whatever time that was Saturday night. Like, you are watching and listening to somebody that really would stay up late to watch Bernard King when the Knicks weren't that good, and who would tape his fingers and go in the backyard and pretend he was Bernard King playing with multiple dislocated fingers. And then somebody who went to Bernard King's basketball camp right after he ripped up his knee And if you ever gone away to sleep, if you ever got a sleepaway basketball camp, you generally eat, or baseball, whatever, you generally eat as a team, like whatever team you get assigned to. And I remember Bernard King came over and sat with my team and had dinner with us. It was in Garden City, Long Island. It was a Catholic school, not St. Anne's. Either way, right? And I remember him showing, I was the one who asked, can we see your scar? And like how fresh and thick, like back then, those zippers were insane. Like I'm like, man, and it showed, like that was my guy. And I remember I couldn't wait till my dad got home from the city, so he could go into the briefcase and get out the Post and the News to hunt for any Bernard King update, anything. And then, I was at Patrick Ewing's first game when he got into a fight with Steve Stepanovich. I was in the Burger King parking lot coming back from a baseball game when my dad and I heard that drafted Kenny Walker. I think it was 5th overall back in 1986. And then 87, forget it. Everybody on my CYO team is doing this, like Mark Jackson after a good pass, doing the finger wag, like I said in the video. And then that year, Bill Cartwright, I told you the story, so I'm just going to keep it moving. I'm not going to tell you the story again. Bill Cartwright threw me his game towel at the Garden during halftime when I went to support him. He was getting booed. And I wrapped that thing, I would hit the layup line in CYO with this thing around my neck, tucked in. And it had the NYK stamp on it. And like, if I got fouls or I came out, I didn't come out that much. But when I did come out, I would put it around my neck. So I wanted to be, I pretended I was a Knick, And then just, I had every Knick poster, you name it, man. If there was a Ewing poster to have, I had it. If there was a Knick montage poster, like where they have like 5 or 6 different players, I had it. Oh my God, everything. Santa, I need a Ewing jersey. I need this. I need always Knick hoodies, starter jackets, Knicks. And then getting a chance to call Knick games. I wish I was calling them now. Of course, my luck, they were horrible. What a surprise. Yeah, we'll let them do the games. We're terrible. Bring them in, But doing some Knick games and doing pre and post and being in that building and seeing things that I just never thought that I would see, whether it was being in Isaiah Thomas's office, interviewing I was older, but I still appreciated the path and the journey from where I was as a kid to what I was doing at that point. I don't know, 15 years ago, whatever it is at this point, maybe a little more. And meeting Dolan, he wasn't that friendly to me. I met him twice. I'm like, all right, I guess he doesn't want to talk, to doing a Knick TV show in front of like 9 people at a bar with no security because the Knicks were so bad. I barely had a producer, and none of the Knicks wanted to come out as guests. We started interviewing fans. Like, oh, come on. Joey from the Bronx. Come on up, Joe. To, the mellow stuff, which was good for a minute. And I thought Danilo Gallinari was going to be the next one. And, all the other stuff that just left you beside yourself, walking out of that venue, loss after loss after loss after loss. Whether it's Nate Robinson, no disrespect to these guys, but Nate Robinson or Steph, some bad teams, and Stevie Francis, and these ridiculous coaching cycles and hires and decisions and failed draft pick after failed draft pick. And not only was it failed draft pick after failed draft pick, but it seemed like every year we got freaking tormented. Like they would have all right, well, hey, the Knicks should finish here. Instead, they're drafted 9th. Knicks have a good chance. We'll get one of the top 3 picks in the draft. Knicks picking 8th. Like nothing went our way. Nothing. Then it all changed. When James Dolan said, all right, Leon, here's the keys. Cook, do whatever you got to do. I'm going to stay out. I'm going to cut the checks. Hire who you have to hire. Do what you have to do. And this is what gives every bad team and their fans hope. I don't believe in curses. I never have. I believe in smart decision makers. I believe in empowering people. First, identifying people who are smart enough or forward-thinking enough to elevate your team, and then allowing them to do the job that you hired them to do without interceding and like getting in the way. And that's what's happened. And there's been so many times, man, where, they could have made a move or they They almost made a move, but they always stayed course. It's like they always knew when they hit that ceiling. Like, that's what's so impressive about this, too. And you bet your ass it all starts with Tom Thibodeau. Like, it starts with Leon Rose, obviously, too. But, like, Tom Thibodeau, the culture of accountability and playing hard and playing for each other, that started with Tom. We know that, right? But, you know, is Tom Thibodeau winning the championship with this group this year? This is not to disparage Tom, but I don't think so, which is why I thought the Knicks needed to move on. And I said that right after they got bounced last year. I said that on the radio on WFAN. And then they hired Mike Brown, who wasn't choice 1, 2, or 3. And it was a very convoluted search. Like, they're talking to everybody, like Dawn Staley. They're talking like, can you talk to Malone, who actually won a championship? I mean, that guy's out there. And, you know, whether it's Mitch Robinson always being hurt or, you know, a lot of issues that I was not alone, had with either the ultimate upside of a Cat or a Bridges. It's just the fact that it all came together in the way that it came together. This Knicks team did things that, again, nobody else, they might not ever do. I mean, what? Wow. All right. Oh, I dropped my pen, Jay. Okay.
Oh, good.
And yeah, and the fans. And that's what makes me feel the best about this, like the fans, right? Because all those Knicks teams that were brutal, those guys were still cashing checks bigger than ours, at least bigger than most of ours, right? I'm not saying they didn't want to win, but it's almost like it felt like too often we carried the burden of bad teams more than the players themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's not always true, but it feels that way. And the return, the ROI on what we put out as fans and what they gave back to us, and I've said this about the Jets too, is one of the all-time great disparities until now in the history of sports. Because there's a lot of shitty teams out there, right? In all the sports, right?
Yep.
You take a shitty baseball team, you got 7,322 people on a Tuesday night when the Rays come in. I'm not talking about the Rays as that team, but like a bad team playing the Rays, you know?
Exactly.
Something like that, right? Or, you know, you think the Memphis Grizzlies are selling out now? Or you think exactly.
Hornets.
Exactly.
No, the Hornets, Grizzlies, Utah Jazz.
Yeah, even the Bulls, when the Bulls are down, the Bulls take a big step back. So, like, there's something so special, and there's so few fan bases. I think the Bills fans are like this, which is why it's always, you know, when I say, like, you know, if the Jets can't win, part of me, I know this sounds sacrilegious for a team in my division, but, you know, I get it. Like, I can identify with that. A lot of it is because of my Jet fandom, but also because of my Knicks fandom. And I respect that because I can identify with it. I see it. And those are the fan bases that really, really deserve it. It is not cheap to be a Knicks fan. It has not been very rewarding, depending upon how old you are, for most of our lives. Big picture for sure. And here we are, top of the mountain. And, you know, there's going to be conversation. We will talk about, not today, you know, what do they do next? How do you reload? Do you trade Mitch? Do you keep Shamet? What do you do? Do you give Cat the big money? We'll have those discussions, right? But right now, the only thing that we can do is just enjoy this, because one thing about life, you know, moments that are good are generally so fleeting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it takes, like, think about if there's something that you don't want to do. It's like it takes forever. You know what I mean? It's like, it's hanging over your head. I got this thing, whatever it might be. I got this thing coming up, and like it can't help but infiltrate your mind, and it consumes you.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you actually do it, it's like pulling teeth, and it takes forever, dribs and drabs, whether it's travel, whatever. Time just stops. It goes backwards, it seems, even though it doesn't. And then conversely, when something that we want forever comes, it's so fleeting. It's so fleeting, but it's not, because now there's not that we really care about this. This doesn't motivate me as a fan, but now there's no more jokes to throw out there.
No,
there's nothing else to say except Knicks champs, period.
That's it. That's it. And you'll have that for, as you know, I mean, forever going forward. But in terms of like true fan anxiety and stuff like that, I mean, the Knicks are NBA, you know, Knick fans can consider themselves, oh, we won the NBA champion for the next 3 to 4 years. Now, obviously, you're still going to want to each year have this Knicks team be competitive.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think this Knicks team totally can be, especially if they keep the core pieces together.
Yep.
But for the next 3 to 4 seasons, man, the Knicks have that. Yo, we won the chip. We won the chip. We're good.
I know.
We won the chip.
The
chip. It's almost like everything else would be the epilogue almost. Everything else would just be another cherry on top, another topping on the ice cream cone.
Yep.
But you got the ice cream.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. And one of the things, if you guys are just tuning in, one of the things I said at the top of the show, like it's a real abrupt and welcome, but radical shift in now how we view ourselves. Like there's something to be said.
Different. It's totally different.
Yeah, like there's something to be said. Like I was thinking about it. By the way, class act. Evan shoots me a text on Saturday night. Marash, both Met fans, right? So like guys like that, Evan with the Mets. I know Sean's a Yankee fan, so he's won a little bit. But like somebody like Evan, like those are the guys that you want to see eventually feel what we're feeling right now. And I wonder, like, okay, like when the Mets win, not going to win this year, even though they're playing better, pretty good series against the Braves there. But, like when they win, everything that you've been, how you think, how you structure conversations, how you react, what you expect to happen before a big game, it changes. And that to me is one of the more interesting dynamics in fandom. I mean, it really is. And listen too, they were debating this, and I don't know. I mean, do I think that this Knicks team is the greatest team of all time? I don't. It's my greatest team of all time, which is all that matters in terms of basketball. But when you have teams like when you have Magic and Kareem, and you have Bird and McHale, like you have Steph Curry and what they did with 72, 73 wins, like it's that conversation is going to creep up because there's a lot of airtime to fill. That is less important to me now. Bigger picture, we will certainly come in with our chest, out and our shoulders back and ready to tango and put our little stake on the table as the 2025-2026 Knicks as the greatest team of all time. Even though you can't really prove it, but the things that you can really prove with numbers, it's amazing. I mean, plus 283 point differential, best in NBA history, 4 double-digit deficits, never happened in the NBA Finals, 9 straight road playoff wins. And, I start to say this too, and I want to get some calls, get these chats going. Obviously, the all 5 starters, were drafted somewhere else. I mean, and you look at these names like, all right, Cat lottery and Bridges was a lottery pick. We know Brunson's journey, round 2, Deuce, round 2, Mitch, round 2, Hart, back end of I think he was the last pick, 30. I think he was 30. OG, 23, not a lottery. Shamet was 26. It's really amazing. Kolick, obviously not lottery. Like it's such a resourceful team build that, it's the job that Leon Rose did. It was magnificent. It was absolutely magnificent. All right, let me start with Brad. Let's get to the calls here, J-Rod.
Yes, sir. Brad, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, buddy, I got you.
BT, I messaged
It's freaking
you.
allergies. When are these allergies going to go away, J-Rod? They are beating the hell out of me, man. Go ahead, buddy. What's happening, Brad?
I feel the same way as you with the allergies.
Oh.
BT, I got a couple comments, man. I think I messaged you on Instagram on Saturday night after you posted that video.
Okay.
BT, you know my story. Like, my story. My dad's been gone for almost a decade. We shared fandom of the Giants, the Rangers, and the Knicks. My dad was a Yankee fan. I was a Met fan. Long story. I'll get into that another day.
Okay.
But it is unbelievable how every happy moment in a life becomes sad and emotional when you're dealing with a loss of a parent, especially when it comes to sports. And, and everybody knows at this point, I have a 2-year-old son, and he was up the entire time. And obviously he's playing with his toys and he's watching the game, and I'm telling him to watch it.
Yeah.
And and on Saturday night, I switched rooms. I was in my living room up until the beginning of the fourth quarter, and I did the same thing during Game 4. Honestly, I thought the game was over like everybody else did.
Yeah.
And I went to stand in front of my TV in the bedroom. And every moment of that fourth quarter just started to feel like Game 4. And
Yeah.
every moment of that fourth quarter just felt like my dad was by my side. And when the Spurs started missing shots and Dylan Harper started missing random layups that during the whole game he was hitting, I was like, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
And then also, let me just make this clear. When Brunson didn't get the flagrant foul on Wemby, something clicked in him that you knew he had it in him. And he's had it in him for the whole entire playoffs. You know Brunson is a dog. But there was an extra fire in that man that entire fourth quarter. He said to himself, I am not going to let us lose this game over BS and refs. And oh my God, that last minute was so ridiculous. J-Rod, you're a Celtic fan. I get it. Love you. Welcome to the bandwagon. BT, that last minute, man.
Never hopping on that bandwagon.
You're on that bandwagon. Stop. At the end of the day, that last minute took years off my life. But the moment that Wemby missed that three and OG threw that ball down the court, it was so poetic. I looked up at the sky. I had tears in my eyes, and I blew a kiss up.
Oh, man. Oh, Brad. That's what it's about, buddy. That is what it's about, man. That's I did not cry. All right, I did not. I wasn't sure if I would. Brad, appreciate the call, buddy. This phenomenal, man. That one's for you, pops. Thank you for making that call, dude. I did not cry. I am now. I cry more at family things, right? And he made a very, very salient point. Like the things that are the happiest, right? They can turn sad, even though the sad's rooted in good very quickly. And like an example is like, and I think I might have to get off Facebook for this reason, because as my kids are getting older, I mean, I'm turning into like my mom. I'm turning into a grandma emotionally with this stuff, where you see a Facebook flashback. I'm like, oh God, look at them when they were 2. Oh, look at him. It just, his first game for travel ball, he's got 2 teeth and he still has the eye black on. I'm like, oh, my daughter's first soccer game. Look at her doing cartwheels up and down the field, not even knowing what the game's about. And I smile and I laugh, and it's a point of happiness, clearly, but it's also a period of sadness where, that age is gone, and no matter what happens the rest of our life, not that I'm sad about the Knicks in any regard at all, but, it's, if you look at it from the macro level, we'll never feel that way again. Quite like that with the Knicks. I will feel like that with the Jets. If you're a Mets fan and you didn't see 86, you will feel that way. You will not feel that way ever again, quite that way as a Knicks fan. And I think if you think about it like that, not that you even have to, but if that kind of infiltrates your mindset, I can see why it would make you like a little melancholy, especially if you're thinking about somebody that taught you the game that's no longer with us, a parent, a big brother, uncle, a mentor, whomever it might be that introduced you to the game of basketball. It's just, there's just something about basketball. I just love basketball. I love it. And I was sad. I don't know how it came up. We're talking about youth sports the other day, and I said to J-Rod, I'm like, and I don't even know if I mean this, but if I was able to play college basketball rather than college baseball, would I have done that? And at the end of the day, I probably would not have, because I think the lessons, and I just love baseball too, obviously. But when I look at my childhood, but the point is that I would even consider that tells you how much I love the game. And there's just something about basketball, like, especially if you grew up where I grew up and when I grew up. And I'm not saying it was better than it's not about that. I don't mean that, but the grit, the city game, no nets on the backboard, no nets on the rims, playing in the park when it's windy and your hands are getting all chapped, because it's not like you just get a new ball on Amazon. Hey, Mom, my ball has one little scrape on it. Like, now I need a new ball. I mean, you'd be playing with that thing for a year. And you know what I mean? Your hands get all chapped, and Like there was just the ball was so slick because all the leather, if it was even, it wasn't even a leather, the plastic leather was all eroded, and you just holding on to that thing, and maybe you shoveling some snow. Like, just basketball is a city game. It's just a city game. And, and I remember doing stuff like this all the time with baseball too. Like, I would play these games in my yard, like I would pitch, and I have a little box on, and, I pitch, or this is when I was by myself, right? And I throw the ball off the stoop, and I pretend I was, playing shortstop for the Yankees, whatever, the baseball montage, This Week in Baseball, like that one. I would emulate all the guys running around the bases or sliding, like, in my basement. I would do all that stuff too. But there was just something about, like, the solitude. And I love having a catch to this day. I do. But, like, the solitude of going out and creating this blank canvas, and I had a little tiny yard. I told you guys, a little concrete slab with a hoop that my dad got. And we had some epic games back there, man. And a lot of the guys that grew up with were good players. I was probably the worst of that group. But when before they'd come over or after they'd leave, you just go into this world of isolation, like 5, 4, 3, Ewing baseline. Like, you're trying to beat the buzzer. You lower the rim, and you're trying to emulate MJ, or who I would try to emulate, Gerald Wilkins, who I love. By the way, Gerald was on with Carton the other day. Gerald Wilkins was great. I love Gerald Wilkins, number 21. And I feel like there was just more of an avenue for creativity with basketball as a young kid. And, that nostalgia, taping up the fingers like Bernard King, like a lunatic, like, it feels like it was yesterday. It feels like it was yesterday. And it's nowhere near yesterday. Like, it's just, what does Stephen A say now? He was wearing his Knicks hat before. Hey, Steve, you still want that ring? Do you want the ring now? He was saying he didn't deserve the ring. No kidding. You don't deserve a ring. Why would they give you a ring? We talked about that the other day, my guy, Stephen A. Man, oh, man. But there are a lot of people. We're not going to start naming names. Today's not the day to do it. But there are a lot of people checked out. A lot of these people. And then, I never checked out. Sure, you didn't. You did. We know you did. And that's okay, because I am not the arbiter of fandom, as I said to start the show. Let me see here, Jay. Let's see here. Let me get this guy up. Avery, what's up, Avery? The real question is how the Knicks fans will deal with the success. How many years till we complain again about a bad offseason move or a brutal coaching decision or a tough playoff exit? Well, I think it's going to be different. Like, all right, let's say if you want to try to parallel, like, the Knicks now to the Yankees. It's different in the sense that, yeah, all right, we all knew 69-73, 69-73. But, like, it's not like the Knicks were the Celtics, where they won basically every year, like 50s, 60s, and all that stuff. And then obviously great in the 80s, et cetera. The Knicks have had 2 amazing years where they were the best team in the NBA, and a lot of other good years that they were highly viable, and a lot of shit years where they were a doormat, right? So I mean, this is just a guess as I react to a text, a message that I'm reading for the first time. I would think that the tolerance of the Knick fan, they'd have a little bit more than that of the Yankee fan. Number one, I mean, there's just so many ways to answer this. I don't want to get bogged down by it. But, I mean, do I think Leon Rose is going to be here for 30 years like Cashman? Probably not. I just don't think it's going to work that way. Do I think at some point I could see Dolan selling the team? Yeah. I don't see Hal ever selling the team. And those deeper rooted frustrations with the Yankees, number one, it's their template that they created because they're the Yankees and all those championships. I don't think it's going to be nearly the same. But when you are a champion, now there's an expectation, and now there's a certainly a deep-rooted appreciation that is so just so hard to describe. Like I've said a few times here, but that doesn't mean we're just like, all right, we're good. We can go back to sucking. It don't work that way either. Right, Jay? Well, Jay.
Sorry, my mic was muted.
How did you feel after the Celtics won and not winning since? Like, you tell me.
2024? Okay, well, I'll be honest. 2024's championship is not a very satisfactory one in my eyes. I'm going to be honest. Obviously, after 24, I was elated. I cried. I was on the ground. I was hugging my brother, hugging my dad and stuff. Like, they won the finals. I was incredibly happy because of that.
Yep.
But it's a little different. We were supposed to win those finals. It would have been like the 2017 Warriors losing. It wasn't in the cards for that year. The Celtics were going to win the finals. They were the super team. So it's a little bit of a different feel. But yeah, I mean, every season the Celtics do not. Oh man, I mean, if they don't make the Eastern Conference Finals, I call the season an utter failure.
Yep.
Even this season without JT, that's a complete failure. But any season where we don't make the finals, I also consider a failure. No Eastern Conference Finals, utter failure.
Okay.
No finals, failure. And that's because throughout my watching of the team, my years watching the team, they've always had a solid roster, and so if that expectation isn't met, it upsets me to the highest point. I mean, listen, I'm all Knicks today. You won't get anything from me, but in my head, I'm all Giannis today.
Okay.
If I'm really honest.
Hey, yeah, listen, I understand. This date and time, 23:79. I teared up when I watched Sal's reaction video when he talked about his brother-in-law. That got me good. I did not see that. I saw Sal's video after the game in San Antonio. I also got a bunch of messages from him and Bada Booms. I'm going to read one in a minute.
Oh, my God.
Booms had to be at it. Lord knows what Booms was on. But he texted me yesterday, and he still sounded like he was out of his mind. The funny thing is, now I did not see Sal's video about his brother-in-law.
Oh, it was awesome.
I'm going to go back and watch it after the show.
It was the video he posted immediately after the game.
Didn't see it. Did not. I saw the one when he was walking through the bowels of the arena, and he's like, "This is for the Pacers." Like I even texted him, like, "Dude, you nailed it. That was awesome." But you got to remember, I was working with Sal when his brother-in-law passed away, and I knew, and Hoff knew, and I knew, our show knew, what he was dealing with. He was very sick. And Sal was just scrapping and coming in, doing shows, and then going to deal with real life stuff, which I really respected. But one of the funniest things he told me, and he tells a good story, when he gets all worked up. And Sal's always talking about his wife. If you know the show, you know what we did, and you know Sal. And he's telling the story. I think it may have been the Heat series a couple of years ago. And his daughter at this point is probably 2, so she's really young. 2-year-olds, they're a handful, even though they're amazing. It's 2 years old. You gotta watch them. And he goes to his brother-in-law's to watch the Knicks game, and the TV's broken. I guess there was either a crack in it or it didn't work. And like Sal flipped out, just the way he's telling the story, getting all animated. I was crying as he's telling this story, and that's the brother-in-law that I'm sure he's paying tribute to. So I did not see that. But I'm going to check that out. So I get this yesterday. Now we were texting during the game. I'm like, hey, send me a pic of the seats. I want to see where you sit. And I'm like, that's awesome that you're out there. Whatever, just talking. And then this is what I don't understand. Like, did Bada Booms hold Sal captive and take Sal's phone? Because I get a text yesterday at 3:40 when I'm at my son's baseball game. BT. Let's bleep and go. We're bleeping champions. Sal is, I'm not even going to read this because I didn't know what it means. Not that Sal would be doing anything wrong, but Sal's blah, blah, blah. Now I'm shotgun. We're thinking of doing a dual stream this week to celebrate the title. What days and times work for you guys? Let's do it. Bada Booms. I write back. I go, dude, you're a maniac. I go, absolutely. I'm in, right? So then he texts back later on the night, and it's still on Sal's phone. So why does he have Sal's phone?
Who knows, bro? Maybe it's because, I mean, listen, maybe he's just like, it's like he's like Sal's proxy son. He's like, you got games on your phone, Sal? You got games on your phone?
You
like,
think so?
No, I'm playing, but he's
and then he's like,
know.
he's like, we got Larry off the list. He's a big Jets fan. We got Larry off the list. Now it's Vinny Lombardi's turn for the Jets.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I saw that.
So I don't know. Maybe the day of the parade. I don't know. But we're gonna collab and we're gonna do something. We gotta figure it out.
Are you planning on going to the parade?
I'm not going to the parade.
All right.
I went to the 09
Do
Yankee
I have
parade.
I have the leash to go?
Yeah, dude.
And we do because it's at 10 a.m. That's the issue. Go live from. I mean,
well, how do we do this?
Thing.
As long as hold on a second. If you could get me on the air.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, dude. How about you're the correspondent?
Yeah. Oh, I could totally do that. Yeah,
Absolutely,
that's easy.
man.
All right, we'll do that. That'll
Yeah,
be fun
dude.
then. All right.
What do you think? I'm going to say, no, you can't go. You have to click the button in your apartment. No, dude. Go, dude. Just get me on the air.
All right, cool.
Let's
we'll
go
do it,
nuts.
and then I can hop in and stuff. All right, cool. That'll be sick because I'll be able to like take vids. We could even probably do like a street interview or something.
Now,
with
that's
someone.
true. Now, but here's the thing: we won't be able to take calls that day
It'll be tough
because you'll be right. We can figure that out.
Well,
But
I'll figure it out.
and
because
even if we don't, I don't have a big issue.
I can run StreamYard off my phone. That's like you can run all the stuff you do over here with the phone, like off the phone as well. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
All right. Let's see here. What's this? With this win, the Knicks will be more attracted to free agents. What do you think? Yeah. That's one of the, byproducts. That's the residue of success for sure. Now, I'm not going to get into that now, but when I look at the roster, I'm like, all right, who do I see maybe gone? Maybe Mitch, maybe Shamet, maybe Deuce, maybe Clarkson, and then you got to figure out what you're going to do with Cat with the big contract, whatever. Jared, if you're by the parade, the minimum you got to do is, he's not wearing Knicks gear. No, he's not allowed to do.
No. And I've also never.
No, this has to be an authentic show.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Because that's the thing. Like I could come on here and I could be full mixed out. I could have the 2026. I could walk down the street right now and get one from a little vendor at a folding table. Come on, but dude, I mean, one, it'd be inauthentic. Two, it would be treasonous.
Yes,
legitimately treasonous, like Benedict Arnold level treason. And three, it's not really how I feel. I couldn't be more happy for Knicks fans. There you go. I couldn't be more happy for Knicks fans.
Oh, we feel it, dude. I think you've done a great job balancing that. We all know who your team is, but I think you've done a great job with that. I did not know this myself. I had to double check this. The Knicks in 70 and 73 did not have a championship parade in the Canyon of Heroes. No, I knew that. I heard that over the weekend. So I'm not learning that for the first time with this chat, tweet, whatever the freak it is. This is going to be the first time in history for the Knicks. Yeah. So I don't know the workings behind that. I'd really love to know. Let me see. History of ticker tape. I know that we've had some for war heroes.
Yep.
History of ticker tape parades in New York City. All right. I know the Mets was a banger. Doc didn't even make it. My God. Okay. The origins. Wow. 1886 Statue of Liberty dedication. Wow. Yep. Office workers in Lower Manhattan. Then now, the financial center simultaneously tossed rolls of narrow paper ribbons from their telegraphic ticker machine out the windows. All right. Evolution of the tradition. The first individual honoree was George Dewey, the hero of the Battle of Manila Bay during the Spanish-American War, drawing a crowd of 2 million people. Wow. Let's see here. Institutionalization in 1919. A completely spontaneous occurrence quickly became the highly sought after when the mayor took official control over deciding who receives the honor of a ticker tape parade. Massive spectacles for historical figures. Aviator Charles Lindbergh back in 1927, Albert Einstein back in 21, and massive celebrations through end of World War II. That's the one that I referenced there, obviously. Traditions, yeah. Hold on. New York City sports teams. Like, I don't know. I know like the Isles and the Devils, like they do theirs, kind of like where they do it. I guess they did one for the Olympic team back in 24. Some Olympic athletes. Connie Mack. The New York Yankees received their first one in 1961. Before 99, mostly were used to hail foreign leaders, blah, blah, blah. Well, the Mets in 86, the Yankees had a bunch as well. All right, recent ones here. Obviously, the Yankees, the Giants, the women's soccer team. That's right, the most famous non-local team in 2010. The Liberty got one. That's true. Liberty did get one. Yep. All right. Just listen. I was at the last one, J-Rod. I don't know what time you plan on getting there. And I don't know how you plan on getting there, but good luck getting there, buddy.
See, that's my other thought.
Oh.
Like, Dude, my roommate's talking about going at 6:30, 7:30. I'm just like, yo, I can't. I like physically, I just really don't want to do that. So we'll see. We shall see where I end up there.
Yeah. This sums it up, by the way. Yeah, absolutely exhausted. What a weekend. Exhausted. Just exhausted. Like, I just, you don't want to go to sleep. I just couldn't. I was laying there. I was so hopped up. I was like, my God, I just kept watching interview after interview after interview. I told you, I don't know if I ever told you this. I remember saying this to Mink where, God, I must have burned a hole in this VHS tape. I had to tape the history of the Knicks. Maybe I did say this on the air. I might have. It was the 1987. And like back then, all the teams would put out the VHS tapes like to chronicle their team, right? I used to love those things. And 87, I remember Marv Albert was obviously prominently featured on there. And he would say, like, there was a little renaissance here. They had just drafted Mark Jackson. Ewing is there, coming off some down years with Hubie Brown and all that stuff, right? Way after the 73 championship team. Clyde's traded. So the Knicks went down, right? Late 70s. I did this the other day. There was like 10,000 people at the games. Remember that? I was talking about that? In 79, where they really took a downturn. And they were not popular for a lot of reasons, many of which are disgusting. But the 87 tape I love because there was a video of the NBA draft. And Mark Jackson was at St. John's, and I love Mark. And he was sitting with some other players that were getting ready to get drafted. And they're like, with the 17th pick, and for some reason, Mark hadn't gotten drafted yet in the 1987 NBA draft, and like you see his buddies, a couple of guys were from the Bronx, whatever, even though they didn't play at St. John's, but they're all like tapping Mark Jackson, like, come on, the home team's going to pick you, man. And like, I used to actually sit on the couch. This is how nuts I am with the Knicks. I used to sit on the couch, and I used to, now to rewind the VCR is not like rewinding a video, 10-second interval. I mean, it's a pain in the ass, but I would do it over and over. And I would be sitting on, because Mark Jackson was like kind of leaning forward, and everybody's patting him on the back. From St. John's, go Mark Jackson. And like, he just walks up and he does one of these, and he gets one. And I would do that over and over, pretending that I was Mark Jackson and just getting drafted in my parents' basement. I used to go, this is when my dad was the detective, and he had like those Barney Miller sports jackets with like the patches, like the real, it's like Three's Company, very 70s-ish stuff, right? Barney Miller, as I said. And he'd keep some in the basement, and I would put them on, and I would pretend that I was like Hubie Brown, and I would kneel, I swear. Funny. Yeah. And I would kneel on one knee in my basement, pretending that I was like barking out plays, like imploring somebody to, protect the back door, get to the rim, set the screen. I wasn't thinking that at that age, but like the team is just everything about this team, the culture of this team, the style of this city, of this team, the style of the city and the grit, like it meshes. Like the Knicks, they have a lot of, for lack of a better word, pretty players. Like they have a lot of skilled players, but like the fact that they won it with such tenacity and such resilience and so many of the characteristics that do harken back to the championship teams and even the really tough teams with Ewing. I don't mean that level of physicality. Nobody can play that way anymore. But it's like if the Knicks were ever going to win, they weren't going to win with 5 jump shooters, just looking pretty like 5 Steph Currys. Like it was, listen, you'll take the championship any way you could get it. But the fact that it mirrors and harkens back to previous eras of Knick basketball, like the compatibility there is not lost on me. All right, back to the phones. Jay, who do we have, bud?
We're going to go with our buddy. Let's do ST. Let's do ST. Let's see how he's feeling.
He better be feeling good. Otherwise, he ain't bringing down a show. ST, what's going on, buddy?
Wait, ST, unmute your mic real quick.
Oh, I thought he was a veteran. What do we got going on here?
I think your thing's muted. Oh,
hey,
all right, hey. You're good. You're good.
Yo.
Excellent. Thanks.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Well, good. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, what a great feeling. What a great day. What a great weekend. It was so good. I woke my daughter up around 4 a.m.
Okay.
It was about. I was like, watch history. She comes down with Brunson's jersey and just gave me a big hug, and that was great. I was like, you'll probably never see it again in your life. So it's great that you get to see one, you know? So
Mhm.
for that. Also, you know, what I wanted to do, like I'm like you. I'm not the gatekeeper of fandom, but I do prefer, you know, an older fan that, you know, has been with, say, a franchise all their life, because, as I said to you many weeks ago, you can't appreciate joy without pain, right? So you can, if to understand how much this means to, say, the older fan, or even, say, kind of the newer generation that have
Mhm.
watched so much garbage basketball their entire life, right? It's just amazing to just finally get there. And once you get it, you'll never forget it. You'll never forget where you were. You don't forget what you were drinking. You don't forget what you ate that day. It's just a beautiful thing. So, you know, I just want to give a shout out to you, everybody in the chat, just all the real Knicks fans, you know, that have been riding with them through the absolute trenches. You know, it's the kind that sat through the 17 win seasons. You know,
Yeah. Oh
those.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
you know, the endless rebuilds, the disappointment, more than any real fan should reasonably endure. Uh, you know, so to see the Mecca become the Mecca again, and to
Mm.
bring back a championship is fantastic. And you know, a lot of the chat was saying, you know, what's it for next year? Do we run it back? Just enjoy this now.
Yep.
You know, I would say what I love about these games, these sports, is like this. What makes this Nick win so special is that they did it the right way. You built a team, right? You sat here and you had pieces. Jalen Brunson put over a hundred mil like on the table to in order for, you know, Rosie actually get the pieces that we needed. You know, we drafted RJ, we drafted IQ. We really bought into those guys. I did, at least. And it's like we gave them away so we could bring in the OG. We found a way to get the cat deal done in that 3-team trade. We kept Landry Shamet. We kept Deuce on a small entry level contract. Like, the team was built the right way.
Yeah.
We brought in Jose Alvarado like before the trade deadline. These guys are such a likable core of guys. And I don't want, you know, we were talking about, it's hard to believe that we were talking about Giannis only earlier this year, and who's gonna go, and how we gonna get it done? How would it work? Do we have to give OG? Do we have to get Cat? Da, 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 da.
Uh,
You know, it's crazy. We were talking about that. Now you don't want this team to ever be broken up. You don't, and you know you don't. You know what I mean?
I do. Yes, you're gonna have to add to it, and those discussions, sure, but they've earned it. I mean, they've earned the right to run it back. You know, without some, you know, obviously some slight modifications. St, that goes without saying. A little bench piece, an ancillary piece here, whatever. But the core has demonstrated a championship tenacity, and a championship chemistry, and a championship result. You don't blow it up. I mean, that now you still remain engaged and proactive, and you know, if something does come across, think about this. Even if they do something, we will probably resist it right away. But think about how many people, not everybody, but some resisted Brunson getting that money in the first place. Some resisted firing Tom Thibodeau. Some resisted making Mike Brown the successor. Some resisted giving up 5 first-round picks for Bridges, like many did. So there's been a lot of resistance. If there's one thing, ST, that we should all, me included, take away from this Knicks run is maybe we got to tap the brakes on the immediate definitive declarations. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this is a life lesson for all of us. How about that?
No, you know what? That's very, very intriguing, and I agree with you 100%. The thing is, guys like you and me will think about that, have that in the back of our head and on the back of our mind when the season starts. But what you're going to get now, because you're in the biggest sports market in the world, is that the noise is always the loudest in New York City.
Yep.
Like, and I was saying this, like, I was saying this to, you know, English football fans. I was like, the problem I have with you lot is that you put so much expectation on a team that hasn't won a nation that hasn't won since 1996 or 1966. You know what I mean? And I was like the USA, the United States, there are no expectations of them winning this World Cup. But that's what makes it fun, because the expectations are so low that anytime they win, it's great. So I do think it is a life lesson, and we need to reel ourselves in as fans of New York teams, because the negativity, they hear it, they read it, they see it all. They all see it, the players, you know. And what did Josh Hart say? He said this jersey is the heaviest jersey in the league.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He said
So the
but now,
pinstripes. Yep.
yeah, but he was like, but now it feels so light, you
Yep.
know?
Yeah.
And I think
I love
that,
him, man.
oh, he's great. He's
I
great.
love Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is great. But yeah, I think that's a life lesson that we need to learn. Is
And by the way, ST, I
Yeah.
will probably break my own rule. And buddy, thank you for the call. I want to get more of these.
Nope.
Awesome checking in, bud. You've been here for the whole ride. Salute to you out there in London. Enjoy the soccer. Make sure you check back. Good call. Thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, listen, of course I'm going to break the rule at some point here, but big picture, and anything, and I'm very comfortable with this. Anything that I said about Karl Anthony, I even tweeted this Saturday night, like, dead wrong, and I said it in the video. I tweeted it. Very happy to own it. I've even owned it before Saturday night. That's just me. Others do what they do, but I'm going to take ownership of erroneous takes and opinions by me. That's how I hold myself accountable, and I'm not going to necessarily take a lot of victory laps when I'm right about something. So even though I did say Knicks in 5, thank you, but that's just me. So even though I'm also coming up with this new rule of comportment, like, maybe we should probably in December and January, stay away from the absolute takes, but that sounds good. A couple of days after a championship when the champagne's still, a little moist for the shirts or the hats, whatever it is, get ready for the parade on Thursday. But, a 3 or a 4 game skid and, the Celtics and I don't know, the Magic and the Pistons and, whomever else, the Pacers with Halliburton coming back, whomever else you want to throw in that, that lump of teams that the Knicks will have to compete with next year for something big. If they do something big this winter and it looks like it's clicking right, and they will this summer, and they will, I think somebody's making a massive play for Giannis, and it looks great to start, and the Knicks are 2-5, I can promise you there's going to be a reaction. And it's not going to be a favorable one, but that's life, All right, Jay, who's next, pal? What do we got?
What? I won't even say the name. I won't even say the name.
Why not? Oh. What up, Seth?
For a goofier aspect, you could switch that to the Joe Hendry theme.
Joe Hendry.
I'll check it out.
Interesting start to
It's
the
a
conversation,
joke where you
Seth.
say his name, he pops up. The joke is you say his name and he appears. It's in
I got you. We play the music and you appear, Seth, so it's the same premise.
True, but I'm just saying for how lighthearted I am today that New York has finally got the O'Brien Trophy back in its possession.
Yes.
I got to sit through Carolina winning the cup last night.
Don't care about that. Next.
Oh, sorry. Anyway. And now it's orange and blue skies. 31 years of being a Knicks fan finally vindicated for me.
Were you able to cheer? I know you didn't want to bother mom upstairs watching the, the old SUV runs.
I was a little bit.
What time did you stay up until, Seth? Watching everything?
A little past midnight.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem like you got after it very much, Seth.
Well, I mean, I had to get up early the next day because we were celebrating Father's Day early at my brother's house because he's going on a camping trip this weekend.
Got it. That's right. Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to us. Father's Day's coming up. Yeah. All right.
And with how it played out, I mean, I'm not going to lie. The first couple of quarters, I was like, can the bench do something with the scoring?
They had 0 points for a
Now,
big
we
chunk
ended
of
up
this
with
game.
9
0.
off the bench at the end of the game.
But there, at one point, they put it up on the screen. It was either 24-zip Spurs or 26 nothing. So yeah, I was like, "What is that real?" And I knew they weren't doing much, but I'm like, I thought I missed a basket somewhere. I'm like, 0? What?
I just think that Brunson carrying the team on his back saved this team on Saturday night.
I mean, you think? I mean, it's an all-time Herculean finish.
When you consider he made up basically close to half of the scoring total for New York.
I know. I don't know how many times that's happened in finals history where that percentage of points is scored by one person. It can't be many. And I would almost think, like, even if you go back to just playoff games, forget about the finals, that I don't even think the success rate would be nearly as high as some people might think. Like, to me, that's not a good thing. It's a great thing for Brunson because he willed them to victory. He was not walking off that court a loser.
But then again, who's the mastermind behind this? Mike Brown finally leading this team back to the land of milk and honey.
Yeah, he did. I expected a little bit more animation today, Seth. I'm not going to lie to you, dude.
I mean, I'm just very chill, because I just don't want to be overly braggadocious about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we appreciate the humility. Okay, that is one way to act like you've been there before, like Barry Sanders, just kind of flip the ball to the ref, right? Rather than spike it and start dancing.
Having said that,
okay,
Wemby is going to be held accountable. I mean, this whole series with him at the helm of San Antonio, they were at the peak of hubris. And his over-reliance on raw talent and foul play being catered as the next poster boy of the NBA with LeBron on his way out. Thank God in that case.
Mm-hmm.
I was sick of LeBron James. I mean, I'm sick of LeBron, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, now, if LeBron wants to come now from the vet minimum, I'll take him now. Because I didn't want him here because I didn't want to have to be beholden to LeBron James for a championship. We got our championship. Hey, you want to play for the vet minimum? We'll take you now, LeBron.
In my case, I don't want him there any period. If this was like 15, 16 years ago, like where we were in the sweepstakes and we ended up getting Amari because instead of coming to the Big Apple,
of course,
LeBron took his ball to South Beach.
Yeah. No, I know. And that's the reason why I don't want him here. But it was always under the pretense, there were two things. Number one, you didn't want us when we were bad, so we don't want you now that we're good. But now that we're great and now that we're champions, I might make the concession. You can come and play 28 to 30 minutes a night. Sure, we'll let you come in.
Don't get me started on the KD rumors. We bring him in, this team becomes a cancer, and he becomes a nucleus of a cancer that needs to be cut.
Well, KD's not coming. All right, Seth. Let's have an awesome day, Seth. All right, enjoy the celebration. Go get yourself maybe a little Knicks shirt. You have any Knicks gear? What did you wear?
Try. Just my cap. This is the only thing I got from the Knicks.
Okay, I got you. Well, listen, that cap's going to take on a different meaning. It already has. So keep that cap for life. Keep calling. I know you'll be complaining about baseball soon. And congrats, Seth. Thanks for calling, dude. Mm-hmm.
Don't get me started on baseball.
Hey, don't get me started. Ben Rice, a little 2-out knock bomb. Yankees drop up 5.
Tabby. That was a hell of a win. I'll tell you, Yanks are scrapping with all these injuries. Yanks are scrapping. Very impressed.
They have evaded the June swoon almost fully, man.
Yeah, and I think that they got a hit by a catcher for the first time this month.
Yep, Ali Sanchez, he hit an RBI.
Yeah, but I'm saying it was the first hit in June for a Yankee catcher.
Her first hit for a catcher in June.
For any catcher.
And probably the first RBI for a catcher in freaking 2 months.
Well, I mean, when Austin Wells is stuck on 7, whatever he's on, yeah, no. Man, it's funny, Jay, by the way, real quick. It's fun. You know where I stand on LeBron. I mean, I have aired this out. It's changed for me. Not that I'm going to turn that into a topic now, but like if the Celtics get Giannis or the Pacers or whatever, like, and LeBron is willing to take, veteran-ish, because he's not going to take the veteran-ish kind of money, and he understands his role coming in. Now that we have the championship, I'm fine with it.
I see what's funny is most of my Knicks fan friends actually had the opposite reaction to you right now.
Why?
Which is so strange. Before the championship, they were cool with LeBron coming to the Knicks. And now they're kind of like, yo, we don't want that ring chaser. We don't want any of that coming to the Knicks. It's almost like the opposite. And I think it's because they're younger. And so they grew up LeBron fans.
Yes.
So the idea of having him help you bring a championship is good. But the idea of him joining you after winning a championship is kind of Durant-esque, I guess.
Understood. Seth brought up the Hurricanes, and, I didn't watch much of the hockey, obviously, but this is amazing. So I just hit pause on the screen. The Knicks went 16-3, Hurricanes 16-3.
That's so crazy.
The Knicks road record was 9-1. The Hurricanes were 8-1. The Knicks were 7-2 at home. The Canes were 8-2, and they both had 2 sweeps. How about that?
And you know what's the crazier part? Seth is a fan of both those teams, and
I know.
was not. Listen, Seth, I love you, buddy. You got to give me more juice than that. Both your teams just won a championship in back-to-back days.
I know.
Most sports fans would literally die happy the next day. Most sports fans would ascend.
I know.
Wings would sprout out of them if their NBA team and then their NHL team won back-to-back
But Jay,
days.
that goes back to what I said about identity and the DNA of certain sports fans. Like, I was very curious what Joe was going to say. Because everything that I've ever heard Joe espouse ever was negative. Because remember, FAN was born in 87. He wasn't even on there yet. And the Mets won it in 86. So I've never heard Joe talk about a Mets championship except the old days, or the Namath reference when he was in college, or, he told us the story when he came on my show last month, right? So I was very curious, and I put him on, and he was tearing up. He was, first he was singing, and I saw that video.
I didn't see the tear up. I got to check that out.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if he teared up in a video other than the one that I saw after the game that his wife was filming. But I heard him yesterday driving out to my son's game, and I don't know what time he started the show, but I feel like it was pretty early in the show. Maybe 1, maybe. So I think the kids had to be there at 2-something. It was a lot of traffic. So it was around that window, that neighborhood. And Evie's like, I'm sorry for getting choked up. I'm saying to myself, sorry for getting choked up. What are you talking about? That's the most beautiful emotion that you can have right now. But it's just, it's here. It's just, I know I'm getting repetitive with this stuff. It's here. We did it. But I mean, it's just, it's still not fully hitting me, J-Rod. I'll tell you when it's going to hit me.
Yeah, when do you think? Because I don't think for a lot of people it really has, and I think it does take a little bit of time for that to happen.
I'm going to tell you.
When do you think?
I'm going to tell you. It is going to hit me when they unfurl the banner opening night at the Garden. That's when it's going to hit me the hardest, because I look at that like where for a long time, we would do the St. John's games on the court at the Garden. Then right next to the St. John's bench, which was phenomenal. And then they wound up selling those seats, and a couple thousand a pop. I get it, right? So now for the last, I think, 10 years, and same with the Knicks broadcasters now and the Rangers, like everybody's up in the 200s. It's not the best view, but where I sit to my left, up one more level, actually up 2 to the roof, are all the banners. And I always I don't even do it intentionally, Jay. I don't do it intentionally. It just happens instinctively and instinctually. I find myself during the national anthem at every St. John's game looking at all the banners. Because I remember the first time I went to a Knick game, my dad pointed up to, I don't even know if he would remember this, but I remember this, which is what really matters, because he's the one who gave it to me, and now I pass it on. I mean, it's the best thing you could do in life is to pass it on, like those memories. And remember the first Knick game we went to, Patrick Ewing's rookie season, he pointed to each of the retired jerseys up there. And he explained what the skill set of each player. Like what they, and like the teams, you know what I mean? Like what this team was built on, like the 69 and the 73 and passing and just, Red Holtzman. So I've always been enamored with the banners. Like even when I go and do these other games, like at other venues, like college, whatever it might be,
for sure.
Like I'll look around and I'll really take stock of, all right, which, even though I basically know all the players, but oh, wow, I didn't even realize like that guy went here. Wow. Or, hey, the last time they went to the NCAA, or so-and-so won the NIT when the NIT was big back in 1959. I'm just throwing stuff out.
Sure.
Like I've always had a real deep appreciation for that type of history. And I remember when Patrick Ewing came back, and well, first when he came back as a Sonic, and then when they retired his number, right? And I was working in Detroit. And I think it was an ESPN game. It had to be because I did not have like some sort of elaborate dish. I mean, in Detroit in an apartment in one of the suburbs in Michigan.
Yep.
And that I remember getting choked up that night watching, Big Pat, the big fella. I think he was wearing a brown suit if I recollect, seeing that thing getting raised to the rafters. Similar to me when I was there in 97. And even though I was there in 96 when the Yankees won it, when they got the last out, as I've said many times, I also, back-ended it, and I was there in 97 when they raised the banner, Don Mattingly, Joe Torre, and I was there. Like, to me, that's the forever moment. Yes, the video of the players of the final buzzer and the massive humanity and Jalen hugging his pops and Wemby slinking off the court like the punk that he is. Cornette, the only one with class to come in and shake hands and congratulate.
Real champion, real Celtic champion.
There you go, Luke Cornette, your boy. I think that those are going to be great images. Like you could find those on YouTube forever. They'll be on social media forever. But when that thing goes to the rafters, man, they've been looking for some company. They have been lonely up there. They have been lonely.
Do you think? And I think they will. Because it was the same matchup? Do you think they're raising that cup banner with it?
Yeah, I heard.
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a little earlier, or it'll be at the same exact kind of one motion of a pull, and both of them go up. But I think both of them are going to go up.
I don't think. Okay, I'm going to push back a little bit here. I don't think you do them both simultaneously. I think you maximize. I think you get some separation. Number one,
in the same night or in the same.
I think it might happen. I think it might happen in the same night. I thought you meant they both go up together. No way.
No,
I put up the 2026 NBA champion banner with some stupid ass up at the same time.
But what I'll say is I think the cup now has proven itself to not be super stupid, because now, listen, and I made this joke to my friend the other day, like the sample size is ridiculously small. The cup has a 50% chance of predicting the NBA finals.
Small sample, small sample.
Two.
Small sample.
Not a real sample size. But to say that this season, looking back now, that the NBA Cup meant nothing, I don't know. I think, listen, it doesn't mean it doesn't hold a candle. It doesn't hold a wick to any of the playoff series wins or anything like that. But I think because of the fact that it preceded the NBA finals and they went on to win both of those, I think there's a little something to be said about the cup this year.
That's where I'm with you. I think that's the part that we're in agreement with here. It does validate it to an extent. To what extent, I don't know. And really, we don't care. And why like for the Knicks purpose, it's just another little bells and whistle.
Yeah, exactly.
That really accentuates all of the accomplishments. Now, let's say if they would have lost this series, I feel like Dolan commented on this, and I think Carton asked him about this a while ago, and I thought that his answer was, I could be off on this, that if they won, I don't really remember his answer. Sure. I don't want to just create something. I can't remember right now. But to me, like, because they now are truly NBA champions, I have no problem throwing that thing. Now, you better make sure that's far away from 69, 73, and 2026. You want to put it somewhere by Billy Joel or by Fish or exactly. Somewhere up there. But I don't have an issue with that. But man, oh man, that's the night where I might get tears. That's different. Like, because when you're in the moment, when you're immersed in a moment of rooting and all the fluctuation, especially if you're, you got a couple drinks in, you're fired up, like we're all fired up on a Saturday night, blow the whistle, you're yelling, you're screaming. I just went largely silent and like just took it in and was like listening to Mike Breen, and then the calls and everything else that I did and the video. But now, a couple of months after the fact, I think that will be the moment for me.
That'll be when it's solidified. All right.
Yeah.
I just saw maybe the craziest comment we've ever gotten in this show.
Oh.
Listen, there are people, a couple people I think agreeing with this guy.
Okay.
I mean, and this might not even be something you want to touch today because it is a bit of an off-season future subject. But
Okay.
I just think, listen, if you're me, I'm shooting this down immediately. I don't know how you would feel about this, but
BT, with his title in pocket, would you now trade, say, Cat and Bridges for Giannis? Cat and Bridges are now forever Knicks, but very inconsistent. For me, it's thanks for the memories and go get Giannis. I mean, this will be more content down the road. Like, there's going to be, and it's not just going to be Knicks. Like, I don't think the Knicks will be intimately attached to Giannis the way I thought they were going. I just don't expect that at all.
No.
Now, on a very business cursory level, you have the conversation. I don't even think the Knicks have the assets, first of all, to get him. You'd have to, because there was talk about when they engaged last year, the Knicks would probably have to recruit a third team, maybe a fourth team, make all these things work because of the lack of picks and all that stuff. No, I'm not looking to do that. I'm not looking to do that at all. I think that he will be an ex-Buck. Yeah, I think he will get dealt this summer. I do not think it will be here. That will be more of an NBA story for the channel, for the content. And I'm looking forward to having that conversation because Giannis is great. But I'm also worried about the calf, which is generally a precursor to an Achilles. He's not a great shooter as his game, which has been largely predicated on elite bounce and burst. I mean, he's a great player. But, as that dissipates a little bit over time and he's not quite as quick, and I don't mean even this year coming up, but over the course of whatever contract he's going to get and the length he's going to be at whatever team he's going to be on moving forward, do I think he's going to age amazingly? Not necessarily. And now I am out of the desperation move. Like, I've seen it work. Now I know the NBA will make adjustments to the Knicks, and the Knicks will have to expect that, and they will have to be proactive, and they're going to have to address, and I said this at the top, like, is Mitch back? Is Shamet back? Is Clarkson back? Is Deuce back? I don't know. You might get a little something in between the margins. You might get something that we're not even thinking about right now. I don't know the answer to that. But what I do know is that what was once a mission, wrongly, to uproot the core of this team does not exist anymore. They've earned it. So, no, I do not think the Knicks will get Giannis myself. No. Get DiVincenzo. He's not playing. He's not going to play next year. I mean, unless he plays, unless he pulls a Tatum. I mean, Dante DiVincenzo ruptured his Achilles very late.
In the playoffs.
He's out.
I think some people legitimately want the Knicks to get him just.
I love DiVincenzo.
I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't?
Dog.
Want him to, obviously for the Villanova stuff, like that's obviously the baseline, bring him back, all that. I think there's some people who would be okay with the Knicks trading for DiVincenzo, I believe, right?
Yes, you'd have to. Yes, I believe he's got one more year to go on his deal.
Okay, trading for him and having him rehab out this season.
Oh,
I think there are Knicks fans who are 2,000% okay with that.
Yeah. I would be one of them. Here's the problem, though, and I've talked to Alex about this. I know that Alex loves him, and I don't think Alex. Yeah. I don't. He's told me that. I don't think he's letting him go.
Yeah,
I really don't.
And listen, if it's coming from the mouth of the man himself, the man who can dole out the contract, DiVincenzo would probably still be a Timberwolf then.
Yep. DiVincenzo's got one more year to go at $12.5 million, 2026, 2027.
It's tough money-wise for the Knicks then, because you wouldn't want to trade for a player, and $12 million obviously isn't the biggest contract in the NBA, but you're not going to want to trade, especially after coming off of a championship season. You're not going to want to trade for a $12 million guy who's not going to play a single minute.
I agree. Let me just give one more look at the Knicks books here. All right, so Cat's 57 next year. He's got a player option for 2027, 2028 at 61 mil. That is I will be honest, that is a big decision that had to be made today. That's going to be a lot of money down the road. He's going to opt out of that, you would imagine, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, are the Knicks going to really give him a couple of $100 million? I'm not saying that they won't, but that's
who, Cat?
Yeah.
It's tough. That is
Tough
going
call.
to be the toughest question going forward. Is Karl Anthony Towns worth a $60+ million NBA contract?
Yeah, my answer is no right away.
And I'm 100% with you there.
Yeah.
But then the question comes in: is it worth it to keep a team together to pay him $60 million? I think that's where it gets more hairy.
I agree, because and my answer to that still might be no, but it's not a definitive no, because there's the non-emotional like crunching of numbers and constructing of a team. And then you're like, well, okay, he's going to be, what is he, 31, 30, 31, 32, big guy, been healthy, knock on wood. So that's not a knock on Karl. He's healthy and he plays a lot of games generally. But yeah, like stretching him out 3, 4, 5 years down the road, that's a next level organizational commitment. That will be tricky. I actually think it would be more no than yes, but I don't even want to cloud the enthusiasm today, because I don't want that to get diluted. And I don't want anybody to think I'm not incredibly impressed and thankful and happy and wrong about what I said with Cat. But downstream is a different conversation. My gut says he doesn't get that, but we'll see. OG, obviously on the books next year at 42, the year after that at 45. And then he's got a player option in 2028, 2029. OG, legacy player, two-way, phenomenal. Love him. All-time Nick, Brunson, 37, then 40. Then he's got the player option. And even that's going to be dicey, because Jalen's been playing for a minute now, and he's going to get the full max, and he's going to get it, and he's going to be worth it. But that's the rest of the team around him, and maybe that's why you don't do Towns, because you're gonna have to do other stuff.
It'll be interesting. It'll be very Warriors-esque, like Curry, late Warriors-esque almost. I think when you have Brunson making that money,
a good way to look at it. And
hopefully you'll still have OG, who'll kind of be your like Draymond, Klay Thompson, money figure kind of guy. And then you're bringing in. Not younger. Andrew Wiggins was still older when they brought him in as a forward, but forwards like that, like solid, really solid, borderline all-star, even though Andrew Wiggins was fully an all-star that season. Kind of wings to kind of bolster the roster out for him. Also, I got to say this.
Hold on one second. Let me finish with the finances. Hold on.
Hit that.
So just to finish the thought there, Jay, then I definitely want to hear what you have to say. So then Bridges, 33 next year, 36, and then 38. That's a lot of money, but we'll tolerate it now. Josh Hart, $20 million next year, and then a team option, which they'll pick up for $22 million in 2027, 2028. Mitch is up. Alvarado's got a $4.5 million player option. Deuce is up after next year. Clarkson, Shamet, done now. There you go. What were we going to say, Jay?
Nothing. It was nothing that important. I just saw a comment about Alvarado, just that got to bring Alvarado back. And it's funny. So I don't know if you saw the videos of him at the Puerto Rican Day Parade yesterday.
No.
Dude, it was 2 streets north of my apartment.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't go, but Alvarado and Jordan Clarkson were there, just like taking pictures with people and stuff like that. And oh my God, I missed my opportunity, man.
Puerto Rican Parade's a blast, man.
Yeah, dude,
it always has been.
They just had like, I love these. I mean, I didn't drink one, dude, but it was like the juices in the pouches. You got ladies going just crazy on the cars, dude. It's such a good time.
Like juices? What do you mean? What, like fruits? Like the
exactly. Like they'll do the juice pouches, and
I haven't seen those. Okay.
Dude, and they carry them in like a little red wagon, and they just fill it with ice.
I love it.
By the way, these are
the kind of things I mean. Like, yeah, you did bash the Knicks and coach all year. I mean, but it's not
his job, bro.
Jay, it's not my problem. And it is not my responsibility to impart to others the ability to critically think. Like, I don't know how people still don't understand that. I don't know what people expect from people like me, what I do for a living. Do you expect everybody to always be right? No, and I know that you don't. So I'm just going through the options here. So either somebody's got to always be right. Somebody's got to always be a fanboy. Everything's great. And that sure as shit is never going to be me. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking. And when I'm wrong, I'm going to own it, which is the other aspect of it. Have a strong opinion, When you're wrong, own it. When you're right, stop taking bows like a clown. And I actually think that that's kind of where I fit. And I'm very happy to reside in that file. That is a place that I want to be. Do you have strong opinions? Yeah. You know, do you nail a lot of stuff? Sure. You know, do you miss some big things? Sure. When you miss those big things, do you man up? 100%. What else do you want? You know? And it was never clowning Mike, bro. It was never clowning these guys. Like, it's called basketball analysis. Get a clue, man. You know? Did you see as soon as the game goes final? Did you see what Old Takes Exposed did to me?
Yeah, yo,
As soon as the freaking buzzer went.
But here's the thing, and you had a lot of people actually defending you in the comments of that post.
Oh, did I?
Because
I didn't even read it.
funny that their defense was hilarious.
What?
It was because Karl Anthony Towns played such a shite game that last game and kind of the game before a little bit. That people were like, well, BT's actually right. He wasn't one of the key puzzle pieces to them winning.
That's
the
true.
championship.
I think it was that the one where I was like, if Karl Anthony Towns is your second best player, you'll never win.
Yeah, you
Something
said
like
he can
that.
never. You said Karl Anthony Towns can never be the key piece of a team winning a championship.
Not really technically wrong there if you think about it.
Well, listen, if you look at that game 5, you're right.
I think they owe me some apologies because Brunson won the MVP, and let's face it, in the pecking order of MVP voting for the series, OG was 2.
OG was 2. Now, Cat was still a key piece.
I know he was. I know.
In the first 2 games.
Yes.
I will say the last 3, he didn't play his best.
No, he didn't.
Did not have his best, and neither did Bridges. Now,
Validation.
Bridges
Once
had
again, I'm right.
yeah, I don't know if they would have done it without Cat, but
No, I know. Dude, literally, I
love
didn't even jump into I'm like, oh God, I'm not gonna get bogged down with this. So I didn't look at the responses, but you know, I'm on my phone, I'm posting what I posted, and I've seen I think it's like the amount of interactions I couldn't even it was ridiculous. No, I didn't even have my glasses, so I couldn't really even literally see it.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, this should be fun. And I click on one thing, and what are all these retweets? Old Takes Exposed. As soon as the horn hits, boom.
Oh my gosh, they had it ready.
Oh, they had it ready. They had it ready.
I honestly, I didn't think it was the bet. I think they could have gotten a better tweet from you, honestly.
Oh, what?
I just didn't think that one was very, I thought that was kind of weak of them. I just didn't think that was a super strong, wrong take. Listen, everyone's going to have wrong takes. There's no denying that. I mean, everyone's going to, but I just thought that one was yeah, but Cat didn't play good this game, so you're not really standing on much. Right
I know.
now.
You make it seem like he had 27 points, 13 rebounds, 4 block shots.
He had 2 freaking points and 6 fouls. He had 2 points and 6 fouls.
That's
and
crazy.
Probably 4 turnovers.
I got a serious question for you. I had never been afflicted with allergies until the last month. When does allergy season end?
Oh gosh, I mean it's human dependent. If you've never really dealt with it before, I think you're kind of in for one. I'm not trying to give any pops here to any allergy companies. Take that Zyrtec.
Doesn't it make you tired though?
No. Benadryl does.
Yeah. No, I know Benadryl does.
For other people have mentioned that to me. I've taken it pretty much every single day since I was 11 years old. I never had an issue with drowsiness or anything like that. But for me, allergy season typically begins in the summer and ends around late October, early November. And
I can't.
And if it's a hot fall, it can go deep. If in November it's still nice out, oh my gosh, my allergies could go on forever.
That's not encouraging. I was hoping it was a couple of weeks here, which it's been.
But it's also a daily, it's also a daily roulette spin, I think, as well, in terms of, I guess more of a red and black roulette spin than putting it on a number. It's kind of a 50-50. But
all right. BT, with you being a radio guy, did you see the final radio call, the Knicks winning it all? It's gone viral and getting, yes, of course.
Wait, the one with Malika Andrews?
No.
Or the one with
Monica McNutt.
Monica McNutt. Okay, yep.
And was that not Cohen? What is his name? Get his name. I want to make sure we say his name properly. He's good. Cohen used to do it. Oh, God. Not Eddie Cohen. He's good. I like him. Brian, is it Brian?
Tyler Murray.
Is it
Tyler Murray? He's sitting next to. I mean,
Yeah.
he's who's sitting next to Monica McNutt.
I like those cams. Like
I
that really
switch around Monica McNutt and Malika Adams in my mind, I guess.
Yeah, I got you. No, Malika does the NBA Today, like in studio stuff. Monica was on, I think she was on Get Up this morning.
Yeah.
She's been doing, Alan Hahn was on there doing a bunch of really good stuff. I like the radio cams. I think it's such a great look. I think it started with John Sterling. Maybe not, but I feel like, we started putting that camera on John Sterling right away. Rest in peace, John, of course. He would have been pumped for the Knicks. He loves his basketball. And I like that they do that, and I love, and I knew she would do it, but I'm saying there, I heard the call, so I knew she didn't do it. But as I'm watching the actual video for the first time, I'm like, don't step on him, and I knew she wouldn't. Don't let him finish the call, because there were a couple of pauses because he was setting up the whole scene, right?
Yeah,
and he did a great job. And then I thought it was a great job by him. And I'm sure he probably would say, hey, when I talk, I don't know, maybe they didn't communicate that. Maybe they just had that working synergy that they know. When he leaned over and kind of put his arms on her, I almost felt like that was the handoff where she knew she could go, that he had aired out the holster and he was done.
So good.
He crushed the call. She was phenomenal. I just think she's really good. I like it.
Dude. She's definitely one of my favorite ESPN commentary personalities, just in terms of the takes and stuff like that.
I think she's great, and she's on all the time. Like, she's not just on now. I see her. I watch a lot of Knicks post-game stuff during the regular season too, obviously, with Allen and Wally Zerbiak and Bill Pito. And what they will do with her is she'll finish the radio responsibility, and then at some point, maybe 25, 30 minutes into their TV post-game show on MSG, they will go to Monica on the court. And she's just cool, and she's real. Like, if the Knicks aren't playing well, she's gonna tell you. I'm pretty sure she played at Georgetown. I think she played point guard at Georgetown.
Okay,
she's great. No, she's very pleasant. I love her delivery. I've never met her. I'm sure, if I was still with ESPN like I was for all those years, I definitely would have met her by now. But if I ever meet her, I'm gonna tell her how awesome I think she is. I think she's terrific. I'm a big fan. What else we got?
Let me not hit you with like a crazy curveball side. Did you watch the UFC thing last night?
No, I did not.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't get home till 9:30.
I will say, easily best cards of fights ever, ever, ever. No denying it. Biggest piece of corporate slop I've ever seen in my life.
What do you mean corporate? What is that?
Dude, it's like an advertisement literally covers every square inch
of the octagon.
The ads, they're showing AI ads of videos of Ronald Reagan and Teddy Roosevelt.
Really?
Of like AI recreations of American history. And I'm just like, you
really
get like a real, it was insane. And then instead of showing celebrities, they're showing like, here's the CEO of crypto.com. Here's the CEO of Polymarket. I'm like,
wow.
And then it just had this weird betting energy around it where, dude, even the non-American fighters who were better fighters were getting cheered more than the American dudes. And you can even see in the fight reactions, the U.S. Marines, when the Brazilian dude, Diego Lopez is disgusting. He beat the bricks off this guy. And the Marines and stuff are like hugging each other. They're going crazy. And it's like, dude, you just won like $100, $200, $300. Like, you don't actually love this guy.
Yeah.
It was such a crazy watch, but the fights were amazing.
Jay, you're starting to chop out a little bit there. Chop it out a little bit.
Oh, I was cutting out.
No, you're good. It came back, but that's the first time that's really. Make sure that doesn't happen when you run in the streets on Thursdays. My guy on point for the parade. Got to make sure we're buttoned up out there, Jay.
We'll figure that out.
You know what I mean?
Am I good right now?
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're absolutely fine right now for sure. Yeah. What is this here? How do we get this guy out? Let's get him up there. Why is that not popping on? Yeah. Now get that up for me. Nope. Yeah. Did you guys see? Yeah, I saw some of them. We talked about it, so you must be just jumping in now. I saw some of them. I thought Sal's was great. I texted him that night. Unless Booms is paying for Sal's phone, I'm not sure why I'm getting messages under Sal, but they're from Booms, which is what happened yesterday, which is hysterical. And he still sounded like he was half in the bag, at least by what he was texting me. But we're going to try to do. We're going to do it. We just have to find out when we can do it. some joint collab. So
Yeah, I mean, pick a day this week, and I'm in.
Yeah. We got to figure this out. Like when you do I've done collabs with the Jets Collective and stuff like that, right?
Oh,
so,
like the collab post on YouTube.
That's a post though, but we want to go live. How does that? Who gets
go
credit?
live out of the same channel? You can
Yeah,
do
but
that.
hold on, Jay.
You can totally do that.
I know we can, but time out though. Who gets credit for the views? Like because like he's been on my show, I've been on his show. When I'm on his show gets the views. When he's on mine gets the views. I don't think there's a way where it equitably go. I don't know how that works, that aspect.
The only way I think you could do it, and this would be a bad idea because it would just split audience and cause general confusion, is if you simultaneously live stream the same, which you could do, simultaneously live stream the same thing to both channels.
Are you able to do that?
You are able to do that, but I think that's a very bad idea.
Why?
Because it'll split audiences. It'll split between the same thing. It'll cause general confusion as to where to watch it.
Really?
Yes, I think that I would not go down that route.
Well, then what do we do?
I mean, I'd have to figure out.
I mean, there's going to be a ton of people watching this. I can't let Sal reap all the rewards here.
Yeah,
and he can't let me. I mean, maybe we could. Maybe this is the way to do it. I don't know how long we're going to go. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the first 45 minutes on his, and then I don't know.
45 minutes. We could do it like that. I mean, you could totally split it up like that. We'll have to figure it out. Yeah, I mean, I think you're able because we do the collab post with Jets Collective. I don't know if our channels get credited, but we'll figure it out.
My friends.
Needs.
Oh, here we go, Jay. Here we go.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
I also heard from a lot of people that like for older Knicks fans seeing Patrick Ewing with the championship was very healing. That was a very good sight. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Now you just need a Knicks one.
No, I know. Well, that's not going to happen. But
hey, get a fake one. Get a rhinestone.
That's true. That's true, man.
I mean, dude, they're probably selling those on Temu for $13.
No, I know.
A little glass Knicks ring.
They say that the pinstripes are heavy, and Josh Hart was saying the Knicks jersey's heavy. The hand's getting heavy. Suddenly we're the king of champions over here, dude. I don't know what. Listen, in my mind, Is this going to be the start of something here, like on some glorious run for New York sports? Because
could be.
Well, you don't know, but let me just hit you with this. In '69, the Mets won the World Series. You know, the Jets calendar year '69, that season won the Super Bowl, and the Knicks won the championship, right? So that would imagine that. Just imagine that. Now in '73, the Mets lost to the A's, but they were still really good. In terms of being a playoff team. I don't think they had a lot. I think their regular season win total was fairly low, but I mean, they still made playoffs. Knicks won the championship. Jets didn't win it, but still, Giants weren't good in the 70s. In the 80s, like when the Giants won, that first one with Parcells, the Mets won it in 86. The Yankees were very good, 90 plus wins, just didn't have good pitching. The Giants wins were sandwiched, in between. You had the Yankee championship. Think about this now where, all right, the Knicks won a championship. I know it's not quite on the same level. I mean, for me it is, but I understand it's more of a niche thing. St. John's basketball is back-to-back Big East championship, Sweet 16, should have beat Duke, should be in the Elite Eight, just spent $15 million on a roster, should be good again. And you got Patino, so St. John's is going to be very good. The Yankees will obviously be a playoff team. I think they're going to make a big trade. If you get lucky with Judge and some health and you never know. I don't think the Yankees are built right now with the left side of McMahon and, Volpe, but Cabby, even though I love Cabby as a reserve, but like they got work to do. I'm not saying catcher, I'm not saying it's perfect, but like the Yankees will be a playoff team. And then, Harbaugh now with the Giants, and looks like you have your franchise quarterback in Jackson Dart. I think who I'm a big fan of. I think he's a terrific player. I think the Jets absolutely have a really good general manager Now, I'm under no illusions that Gino's going to take him to 13 wins this year, but they'll be better, and they got an old line. I mean, they just signed Tippmann extension, which I love. Things are turning a little bit, The Rangers is kind of starting over. Isles have some really good young players. So do the Devils. Times are turning there, man. Times are turning.
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. The fact, I'm not, listen, you can't throw any early feelers yet, but, you can start looking at, okay, the Yankees they're a team that could potentially have a chance at winning the World Series. I don't know how good the Giants will be. But in terms of the Rangers and Islanders, they're better. Listen, the New York, I know we never talk about it, the New York Liberty, actually this season they've been pretty dirt, but they're usually a pretty good squad.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to think that we could be entering an era of New York sports greatness.
Yep.
And not to say that things are lining up or that they look that way distinctly, but the fact that there's even a possibility is some pretty great stuff. It's some pretty cool stuff.
Yes, J-Rod, I'm going to wrap it up with this here, man. So I just want to make sure I have the right numbers. This is how I kind of started the show. So where is it there? All right. So all these years ago, and the crazy thing about the first year, my first radio job, I'm in Allentown, PA, and I started in April. April, I think 10th was my April 10th, 1999, doing the morning show. I think it was April 10th. Definitely April. And then that's the year that Allen Houston hit the shot. Off the front rim, and Gus Johnson against Miami. Wow. And I remember sitting on my apartment floor, this little tiny apartment in Allentown. Didn't know anybody except my partner, Tom, who I was doing the show with, but I was by myself. And I had one or two Yinglings. And I never really drank that beer, downstate or whatever, but I would get it out there a little bit. And I remember I had a little balcony. And after the game, when that shot dropped and the game was over, I just went on the balcony and I let out this primal roar, like an absolute freaking, you could imagine, lunatic, right? That was 99. So all the way up until where we are today, that's 28 years of being gainfully employed. Never without a job for more than a month. The only time I was really without a job was when I ended at 10:50 and I went out to San Francisco to do afternoon drive. I'm not bragging on that. I'm just saying it's a long run of I'm proud of it, but it's not meant to be a brag. A long run of broadcasting consistency in terms of being on the air, right? And stylistically being true to who I am and my passion and my interest and all that stuff, right? 5 shows a week for 28 years, 20 shows a month, about 240 shows a year. Now, obviously, I get vacation, but early on, I was humping. I was sometimes doing 2 shows where I would do something with maybe Wally and the Keeg or fill in for Colin or somebody else, and then go back and do my night show. I mean, that's what you do. And I love the grind, right? So that is nearly 6,720 shows where I was never able to say that the Knicks are champions. Most of it was anger, if you really think about it. And it was the only time the championship was referenced, that it got old after a while, no disrespect, but yeah. All right, 69, 73, Clay, Frazier, Reed, Holtzman, Monroe, Bradley, the Busher, Phil Jackson off the bench. I know. So to say that it means everything to me, to be able to look at you guys and talk to you guys and connect with you guys with the New York Knicks as champions, I can't possibly underscore that enough, except to tell everybody it's just very thankful, so appreciative, so awesome. And that parade's going to hit hard on Thursday. And then when that banner, because that's, you go to the parade, and I went to a couple of the Yankee parades, but that dissipates after time, right? You're there, maybe you have you definitely have some pictures, right? But eventually that kind of fades away. What never fades away is every future generation that walks into that awesome building, by far the best basketball venue in the world, is going to look up, and that's going to be a conversation piece. And there might be more up there, who knows? But for people, older people, espousing to younger fans, their kids, their grandkids, their whatever it might be, hey, 25, 30 years from now, Jalen Brunson, this guy wasn't that fast, wasn't that big, never dunked, but his footwork, oh, you should see this guy, pump fake. Oh, OG Anunoby, man, the silent warrior going out there, the hand to God tip, two-way player, selfless, high motor, do it all. Bridges, yeah, we weren't really sold on Bridges for a while, but he came through. Same with the big fella Cat and Mike Brown. We didn't really want Mike Brown. And look what he did. And now you pass it on. And, Met fans have passed on their fandom to their kids and everybody, but there's nothing tangible to point to. That's not a knock. I mean, same with the Jets, unless you were born in 86 and 69. But now there's something tangible up there. And it is it's going to be such an amazingly welcome sight. So I am beyond thrilled, and we are all beyond exhausted and mentally fried. And the Knicks gave us a gift that I just really wasn't sure. I didn't think we were ever going to really get. You just think about this stuff and all the days where you're like, man, we're miles from it. I have actually had program directors, not that I always listen to them, but in New York, tell me, don't talk about the Knicks. They're not going to get ratings. And I would say this is going back in the day. And I would say to myself, all right, I don't mean to sound like an arrogant prick when I say this, but yeah, all right, whatever. I know how much our city loves the Knicks. I'm talking Knicks. And then if I have a problem, if you have an issue after I talk, I'm saying this to myself. If you have an issue with me talking Knicks, you can come back and tell me, but your first warning's not going to work. Any second warning's not going to work either, because I'm still going to talk Knicks, So all those conversations going back to, the wee hours of the morning on 10:50, can we get LeBron? Who's coming? What about Isaiah? Fire this guy. What are we going to do? Who's going to save us here? To, the conversations on the Fan where we thought we knew we had something tangibly better in Randall and Tibbs to now. It's a beautiful thing. So I want everybody to have an awesome Monday. How could you not? And back tomorrow, hopefully me and Sal figure out that collab thing. We're going to get something on the books, and we'll have a little fun with that. Enjoy it, savor it, and keep watching those highlights. Keep sending those texts, and keep rocking those shirts that say champions instead of just finals. Rock the hat that says champions with the sequins if you're into that stuff. We finally got it. So it has been my pleasure to hang out with you guys after a Knicks championship. I'll catch you tomorrow at 10. J-Rod, have a great day, buddy. All right? All right.
Good one. Wait, let me just give you a funny aside real quick.
Yeah.
Bada Booms is texting me.
Okay.
And he texted me. And the reason he was using Sal's phone was because, and you didn't say this, Sal was whipping the V.
I have no idea what that means.
It means he's driving the car. He's whipping the vehicle.
Whipping the V. I didn't know what it meant. I know the whip.
Did you think he was like vaping? Did you think he was doing something kind of?
No, I know Sal doesn't do that stuff, but I'd like to hope that Sal had 7 or 8 surf sides in him. I can't imagine he didn't. So, I mean, that's a terrible job by Booms is supposed to be driving. Let Sal fucking party.
Yeah,
the hell is Sal driving for?
That's messed up. You're saying that, Booms, come on. You're supposed to be the concierge, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And Jay, here I am saying, whipping the V. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what Sal's doing. I better not read that. I don't know. I don't want to get him in trouble.
It sounds like it could be a little not safe for work a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's why he was on his phone. Also, we were texting. If I'm at the parade this Thursday, him and I are gonna link up. We'll get a picture. We'll get something.
Nice.
We'll get a video. So
you guys figure out me. I mean, me and Sal obviously have to give you guys the green light to make sure we're both free. But you figure that stuff out. We'll have a little fun on that end. That's awesome. All right, tell Booms I said what up, and you guys will link up on that. We'll get that thing going. So have an outstanding Monday, Knicks. We finally did it. Champions of the NBA. Go New York. Go New York. Go. I'll see you.
This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me? This is Unleash. Are you listening? Can you hear me?
With your host, Brandon Tierney.